Guys,
Yeah.
I just want to announce what's happening right now. Carla Bruni's on Soul Sisters. I want to clap for her because I'm so excited that this is happening.
I'm clapping too. I'm clapping myself. No, I'm clapping you, girls. Well, I've been haunted in my sleep. You've been staring at my dreams. Lord, I miss you.
Carla Bruni, I have been such a fan of yours for a very long time.
Thank you so much.
And I want to tell you. You must have been a kid then. Hey? No, when I studied abroad in college, it was the year after your first album came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was studying in Rome, and I had really good friends in Milan and Paris.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we were all sharing your first album. Someone burned a copy of it. I don't remember what. We were trying to figure out this morning, actually. I told them you were coming on. We couldn't remember which was the first friend. But it was either my friend Kristen or my friend Erica. And we all shared your CD, and we listened to it the whole time we were living in Europe. And then we brought it back to college in Ohio.
Fantastic. God bless you.
And then we listened to it all throughout the rest of our college years. And because it took us back to that happy place of studying abroad. You know, it was the first time any of us had lived in Europe. And it was just like the best time of our life. So I associate you with that. So
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. See, because songs are like perfumes, you know, they bring you back right away.
Sense memory, yeah.
The fastest thing is probably perfume. And right after perfume, there's music, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah. It goes right into that place in the brain, brings you to that place, bring you to the same atmosphere. And sometimes it's you know, it's melancholic to feel like that.
Yeah. Right.
It's nostalgic and sort of very, I mean, it's troubling, you know, to go back in the past.
Yeah, it can be good or bad.
It's, I think past is good because you're not there. Like, let's say you're heartbroken in the past.
Yeah.
And, you know, when time has passed by, you feel good about being heartbroken, right? And well, at the moment, it was just misery.
Right.
And sorrow and tears and depression.
Yeah.
And, you know, 20 years after, you're like, oh, it's so nice. I was heartbroken. How nice.
Yeah, isn't that so cute?
Especially if it leads to anything creative.
Exactly. And especially if your life went on and you didn't got stuck on something, you know, because some sorrows are too hard to recover from. But, you know, heartbroken usually when you're young.
Right.
You know, you recover from it and go to another love and find maybe someone better.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
speaking from experience.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only good thing about age, huh? Experience.
Yeah, there you go.
Will you pronounce that first album?
Quelqu'un m'a dit.
Quelqu'un m'a dit.
Quelqu'un m'a dit. It's a very funny title because it's a sentence that one says a lot in France, you know. And, you know, they say, quelqu'un m'a dit, someone told me, you know, people say it without even thinking about it. And, you know, someone told me that the weather was nice, you know, in New York. And then, so, you know what, the nice part about that title is that you don't know who is someone. You don't know exactly when they told you. But the point is someone gave you good information, right? So that song says, someone told me that you still love me. And then you go on in the song and you realize that this girl doesn't know who told her, doesn't remember exactly when. And you start having doubts about her being in a real love story or just imagining something, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the good part of that song, is a song of a dreamer more than a song of a lover, you know? Because it's a song that says, that is not so precise about being in love and that this person is still in love with the person. Yeah, but who, where? There's no indication.
Yeah.
It's not for sure, you know? So you end up listening to the song and wondering, oh, maybe no one told her.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe there was no one that loved her. And maybe she's all, you know, building that up in her fantasy, in her mind.
That happens a lot. People say, well, someone once told me, and then if you say, who told you that? I don't think that's true.
Well, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Like someone once told me that when your eyelashes fall out, they never grow back. And I believe that for about 20 years of my life.
Are you kidding
And then
me?
finally someone challenged me. And I was like, yeah, I guess that doesn't make sense. Yeah, I don't know where I heard that. Yeah, that's probably not true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I love that.
Yeah.
You know, words.
Right.
Yeah, they're funny things.
So where were you in your life when these words came to you?
I remember I was in somewhere by the North Sea in France called La Baule, and I wrote the lyrics, quelqu'un m'a dit, and then I was searching for some music, right? And I searched for a long time, and I remember very well because I had a terrible flu. So I was sneezing and coughing and having fever. And that's not a bad condition for writing, you know, because first of all, you're stuck at home. You know? And then you don't feel so good, you know, so you feel a little bit dizzy and a little bit. And then fever is not bad for lyrics, and it's not bad for music too. And it's just like a little alcohol, but...
Just loosens things up a little
Yeah,
bit.
loosen things up.
No,
you know,
I've often said I like having like a cold sometimes because it makes you be really in touch with yourself.
I agree.
Like you're not focused on anything else,
I
just
agree.
like what your body is feeling.
And you
spend
need
a
to
lot of hours
recover.
by yourself focusing on yourself.
Exactly.
So you can get work done that way?
No, but maybe
Sort of
creative work.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Well,
creative.
I got creative that day in the middle of the afternoon.
I've never
It
been
was
as creative
raining.
as Carla Bruni being sick. That's my new sick goals is Carla Bruni. Yeah.
Maybe I get a terrible flu and write nothing the next time, you know. So it
But it
was
worked
probably
once.
depending on something else. But I remember writing that song, you know, sitting on, you know, in this hotel room by the North Sea in front of the Atlantic, you know, and everything was grey and everything was rainy and by the beach, you know, rainy beach is not the funniest, you know, thing in the world.
Yeah.
But that's how the song came.
Oh. So you had quit modeling at that time
Yeah.
to devote yourself to music?
Yeah, I mean, also modeling quit me. You
Did
know,
it?
and yeah.
Meaning
It quit everybody.
jobs were starting to dry up a little bit or what?
No, I mean, it used to be like to have holiday, like to have like 2 weeks of holiday in August, you would have to, you know, put the dates down 1 year before. And then it started slowing down.
Yeah.
You know, I was 30. And it's normal because modeling is not really about your appearance, but it's more like being new. So, you know, they need new faces. And we were there for like 10, 15 years.
Right.
You know? I mean, they knew our faces by heart and
Yeah.
our bodies by heart.
Yeah.
And we've been doing all sorts of advertisement and fashion shows
Yeah.
and editorial, you know. So it was a mix of... so we were sort of... we were not old, but we were used a little bit, you know.
Yeah. A little too familiar.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
too familiar. And they need, you know, people in fashion, the modeling is not the creative part of fashion, you know. It's like being, you know, like being the cherry on a cake, you know, but you're not really baking the cake, you know.
Right.
It's more like the photographer, the designer, the hair, the makeup, the stylist, you know. So those are the creative people of fashion. And modeling is like the models, we come at the end and we appear and we bring something, you know, but we don't do the real. So the creative people, they need to change their support sometimes, you know,
Right.
to get inspired also. And also fashion is always evolving, you know, it never stays, you know, it's not really made of souvenirs, you know.
Yeah. Were you always conscious of that about fashion? Because you're such a creative person, then was it frustrating for you
Not
to
really
be modeling and
yeah.
not feeling creative or?
No, not really, because, you know, I could be creative from, you know, when I was
In other
off
ways,
modeling,
yeah.
in other ways, and I was already writing a little music and a few lyrics here and there, and I would travel with my guitar. It was a great companion because it's quite of a lonely job.
Yeah.
And but I wasn't frustrated. It was good fun, you know.
Okay.
It's just, it was different from songwriting, which is such a lonely, lovely, you know, delicate moment,
Right.
you know, and like a shelter.
Uh-huh.
You know, modeling, it was more like overexposure, but it was good fun, you know, for those years.
Yeah.
And I was happy to be modeling for so long. You know, we lasted very long compared to, you know, a modeling career, usually 3-4 years.
Yeah. When you say
had-
we, who are you thinking of? Like
Like
who
a
are some of
group
your...
of people, you know, we were sort of a group of girls at the time,
Yeah.
maybe 20, 25 girls,
Okay.
always the same, seeing each other's at all the fashion shows.
Right.
And sometimes a new one would walk in, you know, and become part of the group.
Uh-huh.
We got
funny,
lucky because, you know, we became famous for nothing, really. Yeah, let's say the truth.
I mean, I love that humility that you have about it. Did you always have that?
Well, it's lucidity, you know,
Okay.
more than humility.
I like that.
Yeah.
To me, you know, I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. We got very lucky, and there was a few designers and photographers talked about us, and we became names
Mm.
instead of being only faces and
Yeah,
bodies.
right.
You know.
Is that when you lived in New York in those days?
Definitely, we lived all over the place, you know. Basically, the 4 cities were New York, London, Milan, and Paris. And then modeling started spreading out, and we went to other countries. But, you know, collections were made in those cities. So I would do, at the time, Milan was the first city. Now I think it's New York for the fashion weeks. So we would do over and over the fashion weeks, and the rest of the time we'll do editorial and advertisement and catalogs, you know, and just modeling work.
Yeah.
And are you comfortable in that traveling lifestyle? Have you always enjoyed that as opposed to being set in one place?
Of a gypsy?
I enjoyed it when I was really young. I enjoy it a bit less now that I have small children at home, because I feel I miss them, you know, and I feel like sorry to leave them. And so touring is great. You know, I'm starting this tour now, but it's always so ambivalent, because it's the pleasure to be on stage every night, and then the pain of being away from home, and I become more, I don't know, there's something more vulnerable with age, you know, like my heart used to be unvulnerable, and now I am much more vulnerable.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of losing people. I'm afraid of, you know, missing some time with my children. And, you know, you have less time, so you become more concentrated on the stuff that you need. You need.
That makes sense. So you took a time out while you were being First Lady of France, right?
Well, I've wrote songs and actually released an album. People were shocked. But I did it.
I didn't.
You know,
in between those
I'm not
years
killing anybody,
okay,
I'm just releasing music. Yeah,
Right.
I released my 3rd album, and it sold quite well, and I did promotion all over the place.
Okay.
And it was your own music?
Yeah, my own music,
Yeah.
and I had a lot of fun making the promotion, you know, because people were so confused.
How did that all work
And how
out?
you could be both?
And it was funny. It was sort of punk, you know, for me,
yeah.
you know, somehow, you know, it was very transgressive, you know. But
For
I
a
had
First Lady to release a record.
I mean, but you know, I was, you know, I couldn't stop, and the album was almost ready, and then I got married. What was I gonna do? Throw it away, you know?
Okay. So you made the album.
I started recording the album and writing the album, and then I booked the studio, you know, which you cannot go backward, you know, because you stop. The musicians are there, the producer, and cost
a big
money, you
investment.
know.
Well, it's funny, you think if anything could stop something, it would be being marrying the president and becoming First Lady. Say, okay, the studios
money's
can
money.
hold.
You know, it's just the label said, you know, everything was booked, and he said, and then I met my man and married him.
Right.
And became a disaster. And everybody said, oh my God, what about your music? And I said, well, you know, I'm going to record the music and release it. And what's the problem, you know? It's not that I'm doing something bad, you know? I wasn't, you know, it's not, you know, every job is good, you know? Unless you're a drug dealer maybe, or, you know,
Well,
or a prostitute, then
this is what I want to know. What were his advisors telling him about marrying a musician? And what were your advisors telling you about marrying a politician?
I think everybody was against everything, you know? We didn't listen to advisors, I guess.
Yeah.
That's okay.
That's so funny.
It was good fun anyway. I mean, good fun. It was a great experience.
Right. Yeah.
Probably brought a lot to my music, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Did you get to perform it at the time?
No, but I came to New York because there was a fantastic tribute for Nelson Mandela, who was still alive at the time. And it was his birthday. So they made a fantastic tribute at Radio City Hall, big, with lots of artists.
Yeah.
And there was a choir from South Africa. And so I got to play Quelqu'un m'a dit with the choral. And I was playing with my friend Dave Stewart, so from Eurythmics, you know. Yeah. And, you know, sweet dreams are made of this. Yeah, right. Yeah. And because, you know, your generation never know. And so anyway, we played Blowing in the Wind with Dave Stewart with both our guitars. And there was a huge picture of Nelson Mandela behind us.
And the choir was singing with you?
And the choir was singing with us. God. A beautiful choir from South Africa, you know, from his country. And then I played Quelqu'un m'a dit on my own with my guitar and the choir. And it was one of them. So then there was the choir, so I did it very slow. So I saw myself, then I saw like a a replay from it.
Yeah.
And I was really slow, like in a slow motion. But the choir made it sound like a prayer or like a gospel song. It was beautiful.
That's amazing.
So I didn't really play live like in a regular tour,
Right.
but I had occasions, to go and play.
Very special
Occasions. So
Very high profile.
that was very nice. So nice.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I had the pleasure and the honor of meeting Nelson Mandela and a few months before, so I was very happy to go and could bring this tribute.
Yeah. But otherwise,
to be part of it.
Yeah. Were you okay though with not touring in those years?
Yeah.
You were fine.
Yeah, at my age, 5 years, they just...
Yeah, that's true. That's
very fast. True. It's like 5 days.
Yeah.
So I wasn't touring for 5 days. Well, big deal.
You were still able to play the guitar at night?
Yeah, I play guitar all the time. Right. I wrote songs and in any case, and then it was a great experience. So it's probably brought something into my soul that I will use one day, with my writing or songwriting or even writing something else,
Right. So when did you actually start playing music?
I started playing music very young because both my parents are musicians.
Okay.
My father died now, but my father was a classic composer and my mother a pianist. So basically I played music all my childhood. Yeah, I played violin and piano, and violin is very difficult. And piano, you need to work every day. If you don't work like every day. So anyway, someone gave me, I think an uncle of mine gave me a guitar when I was 10. And then I completely fall in love because, guitar was not institutional music learning. You didn't have to write the notes, didn't have to read the notes. You could just play. And that's when I started playing all the songs that are in this, new album.
American classics.
Yeah, American classic. But I played many other songs, but I wasn't going to make 50 songs albums of covers, But there was probably maybe 50 or 100 songs that I would just play the whole day. The Beatles, and of course the Stones, but also some French music, French songs from those years. And I would play, for my friends, for my family, or just for myself to train,
Okay.
So those songs are really coming before my own songs.
Yeah.
And I don't know if my songs would be the same without playing these songs for so many years.
Yeah, totally.
Because they, you write from what you read.
Mm-hmm.
That you start from something, and you play from what you sing. So I was playing other people, so much time before I even thought of becoming a songwriter.
Yeah.
I was dreaming about becoming a songwriter.
Were you when you would practice, would you think this is something I would love to do?
Yeah,
myself?
but I thought I could never do it. I thought I would never be able to do it. And then, by the age of 18 or 20 years old, I got a little bored of, singing other people's songs. And I said, well, it's a melody. So I was always writing little lyrics. So I said, let's try to put some lyrics with some notes and to see if it works, And that's how I started writing my first songs. And Quelqu'un m'a dit came a few years after that.
Oh, nice. Did you ever take voice lessons?
Oh, yeah, I have to take voice lessons because I was very shy.
Oh, really?
Quelqu'un qui m'a dit que... And then I thought I'd never become a singer. And I thought I become a songwriter and then I can give my song to people, right?
Yeah.
To singers that, great performers and singers. And so I went with Quelqu'un m'a dit to see some French, girls that don't write, And so I made them listen to Quelqu'un m'a dit and they said, and one of them told me, but this is very intimate. You should sing it. You have to sing it. And I said, oh, but I'm too shy. I don't have enough voice. And she said, no, you have to sing it. It's you. And you're going to bring it. You're going to carry it much. And she said, I like your songs. I love them. And then it became a success. So she called me back. She said, I can't believe I refused this album. She said, I can't believe it. And how deaf must I be? And that wasn't it. So then when I had to learn, had to sing, then I started learning. And so now I can do C'est quelqu'un qui m'a dit que. I mean, I'm not Adele, obviously, but
no, but your voice is beautiful.
I can really carry my song now, and it became much easier. Because it's hard to learn how to write, how to get inspired, how to write music, how to write lyrics. You can learn how to sing, just like you learn how to exercise.
Do you
It's a
think anyone can
technique.
really?
Wow.
Anyone can sing. Anyone can sing. Anyone,
think?
anyone. And they say, yeah, but some people don't have any ear.
Yeah.
But that's not true, because when it's educated, I've seen a television documentary about in Romania. They took in orphanage
Yeah.
with little children abandoned, etc., etc. They've been giving music lesson to very small children, and they all have ear. So it means that
Interesting.
that's something that you can educate, and
Yeah.
everyone can reach music. It's about memory and
Yeah.
ear,
Right.
and sensitivity.
Yeah. So the performance element had to come. Like, you must have been already comfortable standing in front of an audience
Yeah.
because you had done that for
Yeah,
years.
that's for
And the writing was coming and the
Yeah.
music, but playing and singing at the same time and being confident in your voice.
Yeah, that took me a while. But by the age of 75, I think I'd be a good singer. No, I mean, I'd be a great singer.
Okay.
Like my dreams, like my idols.
Like
know?
who?
I don't know, like Billie Holiday.
Okay, there you go. That's pretty good.
Well, this
Big names, eh?
Yeah. Dream big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
this new album, especially, I'm sure they're all examples of this, but it's like a living, breathing example of French romantic, like what we all consider romantic about the French language and the French accent. It's like the lilt in your voice and the way that you sing and the smokiness and just everything about it is kind of a personification of what we dream about for the
Just
French.
pretty good for an
so nice.
Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You fake it well.
You see, I'm born in Italy and I came to France when I was 7. But my mother's mother, my grandmother, was French.
Oh, was she?
And she raised me a lot. So I
Okay.
guess there's something about France that came into my ear and my heart
Yeah.
from the beginning, you know, because she was there a lot. I remember when she died crying as if she was my mother, you know. So probably there's something affective that I have with France that is not only coming from me going to France at the age of 7, being raised in France, because we were at Italian schools.
Yeah.
So we were very much Italian, speaking Italian at home, reading in Italian, writing in Italian.
Right.
But there was something from my grandmother that never left my heart, you know, because she took care of me a lot when you're very little and you need a lot of caring. My mother was a loving mother, but very busy, you know. And so anyway, my grandmother raised me. And when I started writing, my hand wrote in French. And then I married, you know. So then I became all French. But the truth is that I'm perfectly half Italian and half French.
Yeah.
I'm
Are you going to do an
cutting
album
too.
in Italian?
I'd love to. I mean, Italian sings, you know, easy. You read the menu, pomodoro, melanzane, focaccia.
Yeah.
It's only food, and you know,
That'd be a
isn't
great
it
album.
incredible?
Carla Bruni reads
The menus.
reads a restaurant
anything.
Just
menu.
put
but yeah.
good music on.
Yeah, that's
and then
it.
very romantic.
All just pizza toppings.
No, but it's true. I mean, Italian is so vocal, so incredibly musical. You know,
even
and
in
you need a
speaking.
few words, and it sounds musical. While English is the best language for songs because it has rhythm, you know, and it has, you know, so it's very good for pop music or folk music or you know, R&B and all the music you can make. Maybe don't know about classic music or opera, but and French is very difficult for singing because it's it doesn't have a
true.
very and it doesn't
Small
have
mouth.
rhythm and it doesn't have vocals, you know. Doesn't have vowels so much, you know. But it is very good for writing because it's a very literate language, you know. Like to say one, you know, to describe one thing, you have 20 words.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's very rich.
Yeah.
And also it's very poetic to write, you know. It has something very, I don't know how to describe.
Oh, it's so lyrical.
Yeah, it is lyrical.
Do you find it easier to sing in English than in French?
Definitely to sing, but not to write.
Right.
Well, I can't write in English, otherwise I would written real songs, you know, instead of making covers, you know. But David Foster said to me, he came to my concert in Los Angeles and he said, "Oh, I like your voice, I like your songs, didn't understand a word." And it really freaked me out because I was touring in America and I came to New York and LA and then South America, and I thought the people were not going to understand a word, and my songs are sort of, you know, based on their lyrics, you know, and all my, you know, idols like Bob Dylan or Leonard Cohen or people like that. They talk their lyrics. People, there's something that they say is not for fun, it's something important they say in each song. So so I'd explain the song before I sang them. It was so embarrassing. I said, this is a song about I'm surprised that people didn't fall asleep, I mean, so now I have English songs, right? Yeah. Don't have to explain.
No, don't
this
have to
is a
explain
song written by AC/DC.
Yeah, right, exactly.
How badass that you have Highway to Hell in there.
Yeah, that's because of my son. He's playing always metal music and so loud.
Yeah.
And he said, Mommy, your music is really nice, but it's like lullabies. And I said, not lullabies. It's like, your music you sing at night to your children.
Yeah, lullabies.
Lullabies.
Children are
said,
so
they're like,
mean to their
lullabies. Lullabies. And I said, okay, you see what you see.
Yeah, you're like,
I'll
challenge
show you.
accepted.
Right.
And then he listened to it and he said, still like a lullaby. It's very jazzy. He said. You think I'm
good
somebody?
compromise.
You think I'm somebody very old? And I told him, AC/DC, they're really old too. They're just like Mama.
So funny. How did you choose "Miss You" of all Stones songs?
We had "Miss You," and then we had another song called "I Got the Silver" that I was playing on stage already for a few years.
Yeah.
And then maybe 2 or 3 other songs. We chose "Miss You" because we managed to change it.
Yeah.
And we made it we tried to make it like a girl.
Yeah.
And it was a very mannish, the Stones, the very, a band, the very rock and roll. They have this incredible sound, and everything is very mannish, right?
Yeah.
And so we tried with my guitar player and David Foster. We tried to find a feminine way to make the song as if it was, a girl's song, and then we made it more Latin, because
Yeah, no, it has a swing to it.
yeah, it has a swing,
Yeah.
and it's sort of and you can dance the tango on it. Or
Right.
actually, the real rhythm, my guitar player, if he was here, Tao, he would say it's called a rumba flamenca. Yes, indeed.
Nice. Did you tell Mick that you're going to do it?
No, I just sent it them,
Yeah.
the whole band. And
Okay.
Mick, of course, the song and the video.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful video made by,
amazing
oh
video.
yeah, it's
Beautiful
nice, the
video.
video by Jean-Baptiste Mondino, who is a great film maker and video maker for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And he did videos with Prince, with Madonna, and then he stopped doing videos for like 10 years. So we managed to convince him to do the video, so I was very happy. So I just sent the video. And then they posted something. They posted that they liked the
Rolling
song.
Stone, did
yeah. And I was like, yes, because I didn't call them.
Right.
First of
Yeah,
all,
yeah.
I don't really talk to them so
Okay.
much, and then they're sort of busy.
Yeah.
So, but I was happy that they posted something.
No, that's
nice.
awesome. And you got Willie Nelson in the studio with
Yeah,
you?
no, I wish.
Oh, it's recorded separately? Okay.
We did it through. Now people can do that.
True.
But my
I just
dream
love
is
the
to get him on
image of, like,
stage.
two aesthetically opposite people, you and Willie Nelson.
I
being
was
in a
so
studio together.
crazy to have him on stage.
You're gonna get him on stage.
I
or you-
hope so. I pray
That'd
for
be
him to
amazing.
come. Just to meet him would be enough for me.
Yeah,
and thank him in
exactly.
life.
Yeah.
Be able to thank him. And but I think he's touring all the time. I mean, he's
Yeah, he's an active guy.
Yeah, he's
I'm sure
definitely
that's possible.
is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to find him and go and meet him and thank him and shake his hand. That would be
Yeah.
a good legendary moment for me.
Totally.
Fantastic. What a songwriter,
I
really.
know,
And what
yeah.
a singer and what a
Mhm.
guitar player.
Mhm.
And no one plays like him. Like his sound, the way he plays,
Yeah.
it's just so unique. But in America, it has a lot of success. No, Willie
Oh, yeah.
Nelson.
Oh,
People know
huge.
him for like a legend.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you still a student of guitar when you
Yeah,
you see people and are inspired and learning?
very much. But there's some evolution that got stopped with guitar for some reason. I don't know. David Foster said to me, you're going to play on the ABBA song, you play your. And I said, no. We have this fantastic guitar player, my guitar player, and his guitar player was fantastic too. So I said, no. And he said, yes, you're going to do it because no one is going to play it in such a bad way. No one can play it as bad as you can. And we want. And he said, and I want your clumsiness. Do you say clumsiness?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you?
That's so
you know,
funny.
there's something
He meant it
clumsy.
endearing.
Yeah.
See, yeah. What the thing is that I write my music with my guitar, so I can obviously play guitar. But I could never do a solo, or something like that.
Yeah.
And I thought, when I realized that, instead of working on my guitar playing, I thought it was useless, because some people, they play incredible, but then they never write a song, so it must be coming from somewhere else in your soul, you know. So I thought, I get a very good guitar player and I show him stuff. Can you do this? And then he always can do it, and do it so much better, than me. So I can concentrate on writing something decent or something deep or something sentimental, whatever the music is. And I don't concentrate on studying guitar because, at my age, I'm not going to become Frank Zappa now. Or,
Just Billie Holiday, but not Frank
Zappa. Yeah, not later Billie Holiday. Yeah, I mean,
But you do play on the record a little bit?
Yeah, I play on the ABBA song, "The Winner Takes It All."
Awesome. Oh yeah,
you recognize my touch if you listen to it. The beginning is me, and I said, "Are you sure about this, David? This is so embarrassing. He's gonna bring the song down." And he said, "No, we do it this way." And then I'm so relieved when the other instrument come in, and because I'm alone for a while,
it's very
until the cello once, and I'm alone for I would say 20, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And I do the same on stage, I start the song, alone. And then I say to the guys, hey, help
Let's
me.
go.
Hey.
Yeah.
I need some, I need some help here.
Yeah.
So when they arrive, I feel like there's a very comfortable, chair that is coming behind me, and I can support.
Yeah, exhale a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to say that I love that you do Stand By Your Man.
Thanks.
And I know that people try to take issue with that song, but I think there's something so delicious about you especially singing it, because you're a badass woman in your own right, and I'm sure you're a great partner to the people that you're with, but you're not just standing by anybody,
No.
So I think it's almost like
Taking
meta
it
or
back,
ironic,
kind
or
of
there's something so cool about hearing you sing that song.
Well, the thing is that the funny part is that Tammy Wynette, she didn't have the life of the song at all. She
went
got
through
married,
many
partners,
Yeah.
and so she was probably dreaming about standing by her man.
Yeah, right.
But never found.
Stability would be nice.
Someone probably wrote it. Gave
Are
it
you
to
the
her,
man
said
I'm
it's
going to
good.
stand by?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Maybe, she was coming from the 50s, and that was, women were different then. Feminism was not as strong. Women were not as independent, and they were not all working. Many women were still be housewife and at home, and even now it's like that. But now feminism is breaking through, and women knows about their rights, and they know about the freedom, and they know about their body, and they decide when they have children or not,
Right.
and they can choose to be mothers or not, and you can have all sort of
Hopefully.
different life.
Yeah. How do you feel about feminism these days? I feel like I've read kind of conflicting
I think
feelings you've had.
No, I mean, I feel quite feminist, but I was born after a very strong feminist movement.
Yeah.
So I actually could afford not to be feminist and to be feminine, because these women break the doors for us.
Right.
What I feel now is that the new generation has to start again.
Yeah.
And so that we always have to be sort of aware of this thing that machismo is, and is always ready to recover and come up, you know. And I don't know why is that. Maybe because men are coming from us and we're not coming from men, so they might be scared forever. Scared.
Sure, yeah. Well, when
terrified.
there's progress, there's always going to be a pushback against it. But I would argue that you've been feminist your whole life because you've lived your life for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, independence, is very important.
So whatever you call it.
To be work.
Yeah.
Work, and make your own life, that's independence, you know.
Exactly.
That's being feminist, is not asking, money to anyone and have your own job. That's already,
there you go.
Every woman that does this is a feminist.
Exactly. So is your husband home with the kids now?
Not really.
That's my fantasy of your life right now.
No, not really. My husband, of course, he has so much energy that when he stops politics, he works the same.
Right, of course.
I'm like, I can't believe you're working the same.
Yeah.
He said, I take weekends off. And I'm like, I can't believe you're working as much. But now he's working in private work. He's a lawyer. He has a lot of work all over the world. So he's traveling a lot. And you know, one other thing I want to say is that my man, who is very strong, sort of alpha type of man, you know, very classy.
You have to have that personality to get into politics. I
Yeah,
think. Men or
probably.
women.
But you know what? The thing is, he's the most caring man in the world, so he stands by me.
Right.
There you
know?
go.
There you go.
And
He
that,
should do a cover of your cover.
yeah, but he's not. I don't like to sing, you know.
Okay.
He said, no, singing will be not for this life.
No.
Just like modeling, he said, modeling will be not for this life. Next life,
I'll
probably.
stand by you.
But no, what
So
happened is
funny.
that that's the reason why I stand by him. I mean, you know, is that, of course, he didn't look like that, because when you're the wife married to someone who's a president, everybody thinks you're obeying to something, you know. But that's not in our couple. It was never like that.
Right. I mean, it's quite a
He
literal.
yeah, he leaves me so much room, you know. He
Yeah.
never stopped me from doing anything. No matter what people would advise to him when he was a president, he would never listen.
Well,
He
you
said,
probably
"You're
knew it wouldn't
free."
last long if you tried to.
No, not only. He has respect for women. He's one of these men that is just crazy about women, you know, and he has respect for women, and he thinks women has to be treated better than a man. So he's the opposite of a macho, you know,
Right, right,
basically.
right.
He has a maybe fascination for a woman. He was raised by his mother alone, you know, and his father never really took care of him. So I think he can fight men, but he would never fight a woman. And that was a problem when he was into politics.
Yeah.
He would never fight a woman.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Speaking of machos, everyone asks you what you think about Melania, and I don't care at all what you think about Melania, but I would like to know this thing that Trump said that you two have dated.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah.
But he did that with many people at the time.
Yes.
And actually, I think he did it himself, because I read something from a journalist that made a enquête that it was a habit.
Yeah.
Of him
That-
to
of
make
him.
these lies.
Just-
Yeah,
Just
of him
boasting
to
that he
call
dated people that he.
the press and pretend to be somebody else. But the thing is that people, I think, recognize him. So this is not coming from, you know, from neither from me, neither from nothing existing.
Oh,
It's
like he
coming
might have
from
called.
Yeah, I think he did it
reporter?
with Kim Basinger as well, and Madonna. She must have urticaire because she doesn't like him.
Yeah,
Madonna,
yeah.
She must have had. So I think it was a habit, probably to keep the attention, to attract the attention away from business and
Yeah.
put it on something else. You know,
Yeah.
but I don't really know about all that, and I don't really care because it was not a major thing in my life. It was not, you know, I met
Totally,
him once, and
yeah.
then it became public. That was very strange.
Right.
And I met him in a flight. So, you know. So anyway, and he was with someone at the time, so
Yeah.
I find it very unpleasant.
Yeah.
You know,
That he
because
shouldn't
I'm
want
a
that
very,
to be true. Though.
you know, I'm the type of woman that likes women.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, not sentimentally or sexually,
Yeah,
but I mean, I need women. I like women. I
Uh-huh.
don't cheat on women. You know,
Right.
and
Yeah.
would
You
never
respect other
betray
women.
someone, you know,
Yeah.
that I know, being a woman. I like woman's relationship very much.
Yeah.
So I find it very unpleasant because it was with another woman.
Yes,
you know,
right.
and that's
Well,
not a
also
moral
because you're
thing.
Carla Bruni, and he should be so lucky. I just want to
I
say
was
that for
I
the
was
record.
very
Like,
young. I
come
was
on.
not so famous at the time. I just started modeling, and
Yeah.
I come to New York, and it was so funny to live in New York at the time.
Yeah.
Coming from Europe, it was like, wow, you know. Some French writer, Louis Ferdinand Céline, wrote about New York. The buildings are standing up, and it's true. You know, when you come from Europe, you feel like
There's a little bit
everything
of
is
lean.
laying down.
Everything's much
Especially
lower. Yeah.
Rome, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Especially Rome, she looks like an older woman laying
That's so
down and
true.
aging slowly,
Yeah.
you know.
Talk
And
about a
no
dusty city. That's Rome.
facelifting
Yeah.
but Paris is the same, and New York
Mhm.
is like is like a standing city, sort
Yeah.
of a jumping city.
Yeah.
So
Where
in
did you
my-
live in the city?
I lived downtown. I lived in Tribeca before anyone lived in Tribeca.
Yeah.
There was West Broadway and Chambers, and then I lived 18 on Broadway, and then I lived in the Carnegie Hall because at the time a very good friend of mine, Mike Reinhardt, and his wife had an apartment in the Carnegie Hall.
Oh,
At the time, it was still
wow.
possible. So you would go up from the back elevator, and it was little dancers on the corridor,
Oh my
people playing
God.
trumpet. You know, it was living
That's
in
a
the
New York
opera. It
dream.
was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I think those apartments don't exist anymore. I think I don't know,
I
maybe
don't
Mike
know.
still has his apartment. But I don't know why. Anyway, he sort of left me a room in his apartment, and then he
Yeah.
was always, traveling. So me and my best friend Marine, both modeling, we were
Uh-huh.
staying in the Carnegie Hall. It was like a dream.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Very
and then Tribeca, who was fantastic, and Robert De Niro has just begun something called the Tribeca Center.
Mm-hmm.
and so there was a lot of library films, you know, but the area was still a business area, and at night it was still empty, and now it's completely different.
Yeah, now the financial district, everyone's moving there. It's crazy. Yeah. So when do you go on tour?
So I go on tour. I start the tour at the end of October. With Greece, I do a European tour, October and January. Then I'll be in America in February. I'll be here on the 16th of February, right after Valentine's Day.
Nice.
So I invite you to the concert if you want.
Thank you.
It's only romantic songs, yes.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'll be here on the 16th of February. Then I go to many other cities in America, and then we go to South America later for Easter, and we go to Asia, and we might go to Australia. My God, I'll bring the children then.
Yeah, just for that one?
No, but I mean, I've never been to Australia. Have you ever been?
No.
It's so far, right?
Yeah, right.
You might go only once, right?
Yeah.
So
you never had to go for modeling?
No, I never had to go for
or
modeling.
A state
There's
visit?
no state visit and no modeling by mistake. I'd love to see New Zealand as well.
Yeah.
So maybe a little jump
Yeah.
from Australia to New Zealand because it's so many hours of flight from anywhere in the world that once you're there, maybe it's good
Spend
to
some
visit.
time. Yeah.
It's a continent.
Right. There's a lot
like
to
Africa.
see. Yeah. Okay, well, the album's called French Touch, and it's out, and it's so gorgeous.
So beautiful.
And you are the loveliest, and thank you for coming on the show. Carla Bruni, I want to clap you out. We began with a clap, and let's
I
end
don't
on
clap.
a clap.
I clap you girls.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks.